For the Rural Radio Network, I'm Jason Jorgensen. Certainly huge news made late last week with the announcement of longtime head coach John Cook announcing he is stepping down as head volleyball coach of Nebraska. I had a chance to talk to Cook, and he says his phone has been very, very busy since Thursday's big announcement.
I'm trying to just stay at 100 text messages, and I'm answering every one, but they're coming in so fast I can't keep up. So my goal is to stay at 100 right now. But really what's cool about it is there's just a lot of people I'm hearing from that were touched by Nebraska volleyball. A lot of these people, I don't even know who they are, or area codes from all over the country. So when you're in the thick of things, you have no idea the impact that our program makes on people. And last couple days, we're finding that out. And Troy told me this was going to happen. I said, no way. But it's been unbelievable.
How did you keep this all a secret, and have you maybe considered getting into the intelligence business? Because that was pretty effective.
It was pretty cool. We went top secret. There was a lot of, when you're doing something like this, and again, Troy and Kristen Brown, our SWA, they came up with this plan, and because we had to keep Louisville on the same schedule that we were on. We weren't sure when all this was going to go down. I was trying to decide if I really wanted to retire. So actually, I was I drove out to Atkinson to speak, and was on the way back. It just hit me that it's now time, and then that got all the wheels turning, and it all happened really fast. And both Louisville and Nebraska worked together to make it go really seamless, because we didn't want to have a search. We didn't want to have, who's the next coach? The players are wondering. It was bang, 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 and everybody knew the plan, and it was same for both schools, and that's what we wanted to do. So mainly that was for the players that, okay, we got this figured out. We already know what we want. Here we go. And then Danny was able to instantly FaceTime with our team right after I talked to him, because they're all pretty upset, and it just gets everybody moving forward.
Over the years, how much time have you maybe spent thinking about this, on when you wanted to be done and how you wanted to hand the baton off?
There was a time about 3 to 4 years ago I started thinking about it, but then I fell in love with this team, this group that we've had the last 2 years. And like I said in the press conference, I've had, if not more fun, as much fun as coaching any 2-year block of my coaching career. So that made it hard. But then I got to the point where, okay, what's good timing? And there's some other factors that kind of came into this with Danny's situation, and then of course my daughter's having another baby, and I wanted to be able to give her a team that is ready to go. And this team returns a lot of people. We got a great freshman class. This team is ready to go, and it's a great group of people. So I just thought, I want to go out feeling that way. Like, I really am going to miss these guys, because they're such an awesome group. And then I want her to be able to have a group that's going to support her. And ironically, after I told the team, literally after a couple minutes of some emotion, and Troy talked to them for a second, they went and met privately, and they started making the commitment that they were going to support Danny, and talked about that. So it just shows you what kind of group this is, and that's why they're so successful as volleyball players.
25 years ago, you took over a great thing, and you have made it greater. It's bigger now than it was when you took over. You have to be super proud of that.
I'm very proud. When I remember when Bill Byrne hired me, he just said, I'll never say no, and he gave me the keys to dream big, and so we started trying to do things outside the box. And part of the reason I came here is I knew that Nebraska and the expectations here would bring out the best in me. And so that was the thing that drove me. This is going to bring out the best in me. It's not, are we going to do as good as what Coach Pettit did, or trying to we knew there was going to be high expectations, and we just used that and turned that. Let's bring out the best.
As Danny takes over for you, as you look at the future, what's maybe some challenges on the horizon for Nebraska volleyball? Whether she was taking over for you, or if you had continued to coach.
And that was another thing in the timing of this that felt like it was time to change. So what's coming in is revenue share, and that'll start July 1. There's potentially adding a fifth year to players. I don't want to be the one to have to deal with recruits on that, because that's going to blow up recruiting classes if these guys get granted another year. So those are two things that are looming out there. I felt like we kind of done everything that there is to do, and the next step will be going into Pinnacle Bank Arena for some matches next fall. So that'll be something new. And I just, we've been doing this for 25 years, so now it's time for fresh ideas, and Danny will be great at that. So college athletics is changing dramatically, and so I just thought the timing of this would be really good. Even though I was excited to try to navigate all that, but it's going to change. And again, listen to what Coach Saban said, what Tony Bennett said, what the coach at Jay Wright said. Those guys, he said, this isn't what we signed up for. And I feel a little bit about that, but I was also excited for those new challenges. But I just thought it's kind of making a shift right now. So let's go ahead and get fresh ideas in here.
You aren't from here, but this state has adopted you a long time ago. That has to make you feel so good. That story you told the other day about you stopping at the retirement home in Ord, I know you have several examples of that over the years.
Yeah, and I love small town Nebraska. I was just talking to one of my friends out in Erickson, and he goes, well, you need to get a place out here now. And he might be right. I heard President Gold I've heard him speak several times now. And he's from New York. Okay, so New York and Nebraska, I mean, that is two different cultures, right? And he always says, I'm a Nebraskan by choice. And even though I wasn't born and raised here, but I'm a Nebraskan by choice. My kids went to school here and graduated from Nebraska, and so we really feel like we bleed Husker, and that's, everybody here makes us feel that way.
You said you'd like to be the best fan or the biggest fan for the program. What's that look like? Sometimes when folks retire, you never see them. Other times people are around the program a little bit. Do you have any thoughts on how you'd like to still maybe be involved a little bit?
Well, what I said was I want to be the biggest cheerleader. And my wife always tells me, you got to be more of a cheerleader on the bench. So now it's going to be a lot easier to be a cheerleader. But I just want to be a cheerleader. Troy's asked me to stay around as an advisor to him. So I think there's some projects he may have me work on. But I'm just going to have the flexibility to, spend a lot of time in Wyoming, which I want to do. It's really important to me. And like I said, I want to be around my grandkids. And so it's going to be great, because I still want to help in any way I can with University of Nebraska and our athletic program. And if it's whatever they ask me to do, I want to do it and help out, because I owe this place a lot, and I want to see it continue to thrive.
And that was now former Nebraska head volleyball coach John Cook. Seems kind of odd to say it that way, but that is the case as he rides off into the sunset and is being replaced by former player and assistant Danny Busboom Kelly. For the Rural Radio Network, I'm Jason Jorgensen.